8 NCAA tournaments, 1 NCAA championship, all under only 2 coaches. In its only 41-year program history, the Northern Michigan men's hockey program managed to become a powerhouse since their launch in 1976. It all began with their first coach, Mr. Rick Comley. Heard of him?
Well, he was young. He was a student athlete himself. He was a good student, and he presented himself well, and we thought that what he had done at Lake Superior State prior to coming here was worthy of us entertaining him as our head coach.
What many may not remember is the rival Comley used as a model of success.
Well, I think when we started the hockey program, it was Michigan Tech that, that was the standard bearer for us.
It was a challenge for us to be like them and maybe even better.
Comley brought his team to their first NCAA appearance in 1980. They would make the tournament 2 more times until 1991, when they finally won their first NCAA championship.
Here's the hockey history.
Peters remembers the whirlwind of emotions attached to the championship run.
My greatest challenge was keeping the goalie's mother from having a heart attack. I think she was so nervous, her Billy Pye's mother. And she'd go out in the concourse and walk around, and then if there was noise in the crowd, she'd say, "Oh, I hope they didn't score against Northern." And so I had to reassure her that her son was doing extremely well, and he did.
Wildcats radio analyst Dave Danis has memory from the game fresh to this day.
Northern was down 3-0 after the first period, and Tom says to me, he goes, "What do you think now?" I said, "If Northern Michigan scores the next goal, they win the hockey game." He looked at me like he was crazy, and we did it. It's just something, my spine's tingling now, even just thinking about that night.
The championship gave the team an opportunity to visit the White House and meet then-President George H.W. Bush. The team would go on to make the NCAA tournament for the next 2 years and another stint in '98. Having played for Comley for 3 years, former NMU hockey player Chris Gobert says Comley taught him lessons both on and off the ice.
There's one thing that kind of stuck with me in particular. I think from my freshman year, there was a saying for any meeting that we ever had to go to. He always said, 5 minutes early is 10 minutes late. And, that's one thing that I've always kind of lived by since then.
A year later, the program would replace the Lakeview Arena with the new Barrie Event Center. Gobert remembers being part of the very first team to play in the arena.
It was amazing, to be able to come and be, the first year in there, as a player coming in and growing up here. Lakeview's facility I knew very well, but then you come into a brand new facility with, brand new everything. It's something special.
It would only be a few short years later that the program would experience another shakeup. Rick Comley was leaving NMU for a coaching position at Michigan State.
I do want to clear the air completely and say I'm not leaving because I'm unhappy. I'm leaving because it's an opportunity of a lifetime that I never thought I would be given.
In his place would be NMU alumnus Walt Kyle.
There was one name that was on everybody's minds that who was going to replace Rick, it pretty much had to be Walt Kyle. He was a player in the program. He was a captain in the program, was an assistant coach for the national championship team, had been in the NHL, knows all kinds of people all over college hockey. He was the one name that everybody wanted because he understood the community and understood the school.
The former Wildcat would go on to lead his alma mater to 4 straight 20-plus win seasons from 2002 through 2006.
We had a total of 8 seniors, and he kind of let us, I don't want to say take over, but he kind of let us kind of run, the team as a whole from that standpoint. There was, I guess a little bit more freedom for the guys, as Coach Comley was kind of more of a disciplinarian.
Kyle managed to bring the team to at least 1 NCAA tournament in 2010. The Wildcats would go on to lose in the first round against St. Cloud State. NMU finished 4th in the Central Collegiate Hockey Association and 16th in the nation that season.
Once you're champions of anything, repeating is extremely difficult, and you're never quite satisfied with the results that happen if you're not champions or close to the top. Every once in a while, it's hard to get the car into gear, and so you need a little push, and I think that the thought was that maybe it's time to get a new person to push the car.
Kyle's inability to consistently keep his team on a championship level is why many believe NMU did not renew his contract. His last days at the school were announced on March 10th of this year. But could his replacement be the answer to bringing the NMU hockey program back to better days? Stay tuned for part 2 of the series tomorrow. For TV6 News, I'm Samantha Rivera.